Hello, Beethoven trumpets. Welcome back. This is our fourth lesson. We're going to keep this one relatively short because the last one was super long. If you stuck through the whole time on the last one, great job. But that was a long video, so we're going to keep this lesson a little on the shorter side. All right, we're going to do similar things that we did last week. So we're going to do the studies that we did last week, but we're going to do a different one, actually different two. And then we're going to do the next group in the lip slurs, and then we're going to work a little bit more on in the Hall of the Mountain King. All right, so let's just jump right into it. So last week we worked on going from F sharp chromatically up to C and back. This week we're going to work on the next one. So we're going to work on exercise 2 and exercise 3. So they're both chromatic, but they're going to start and end on different notes. So let me get a metronome going. Let's start it right here. And let's just jump right into it. Again, make sure you're always sitting up straight. Good posture, shoulders relaxed, and your air is nice and consistent through the whole exercise. All right. So you know what we're doing here. So just join in right with me right at the beginning here. All right. And we're in 3/4, so I'm just going to count off to 3. 1, 2. So do that a few times. Once is not enough for that one. Even though there is a repeat, you want to make sure you really got those fingerings nailed down, right? You want that just to become second nature when you're playing. And once you've got that, let's speed it up a bit. This is quite a bit faster, so you have to make sure you really have your fingerings down to play it at this speed. All right, let's do it. 2 times through. 1, 2. Okay, great job. Go back and repeat those until you've got them, and then we're going to move on to number 3. All right, go back to this tempo. Same sort of thing, chromatic scale, but we're going to start on a low G sharp, and we're going to end on a D. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. I was about to count to 4. 1, 2. And now we'll speed the tempo up and do it at a faster tempo. Let's see. I think I did it about here. All right. Again, make sure you have it down at the slower tempo before you move on. 1, 2. Okay, and do that a few times. Again, making sure repeating that over and over is a great way to get that muscle memory in your fingers. Okay, and now let's just move on to in the Hall of the Mountain King. So we worked on this last week. So we're going to start right off the bat with a bit of a faster tempo here. If you need to work on it on a slower tempo, go back to the previous video and work through that one. But since we already worked on it on a slower tempo in a previous video, we're just going to start right off with a bit of a quicker tempo here. And the first thing we're going to do is just play through it. So just go ahead and play through it with me. We're going to ignore the repeats. When you're practicing it on your own, go ahead and put the repeats in. But right now for the lesson, let's just ignore the repeats. All right, so we're going to play through the whole thing, although we're not going to play the very ending where you start to see the rests and stuff. So it's going to be through measure 16, I think it is. Let's see, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, we're going to play through measure 16. So that's the second measure of the second to last line. All right, let's play through it. Again, no repeats. And one thing I want you to focus on are the dynamics. We'll talk a little bit more about those after we play it. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so hopefully it comes across well on the recording, but I did something with the dynamics there as they're written, and I hope you noticed it. So the very first line was piano, and then gradually, each time we repeat the phrase, every 4 bars, it gets louder and louder and louder. So it's like there's a big crescendo written out throughout the whole piece of music here. So really focus on that when you're playing, because that's what makes this super interesting. Overall, the piece, it's kind of the same thing, right? It's pretty repetitive, same thing over and over. But this is a great piece of music, and in order for it to stay interesting while playing a very similar rhythm and melody, is adding dynamic contrast. So by starting softer and getting louder and louder and louder throughout the piece, it becomes more and more interesting. All right, so finally, what I'm going to do here, once we've worked through that, is at the same tempo, I'm going to play the harmony line, so you, the viewer, can play the melody line, and we'll be playing it together. Again, we're going to ignore the repeats, and we're going to end at the same spot we were ending before. Okay. And remember, I don't play on beat 1, so it's just you. I come in on beat 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and go ahead and play that as many times as you need to get it down, really focusing on the dynamics. All right, this was a shorter video, but since we had such a long one previously, I think that's totally all right. All right, great job, and I'll see you guys in the next video.